Another great way of rendering down old wax is using a solar wax melter. And this has the benefit of being free, not using any electric to render down your wax, unlike the method on the hob with the saucepans. This is a cabinet built out of marine ply and some scraps of wood. Quite useful to have it on wheels, because then you can move it around in the day depending on where the sun is at that time. And it works by having an old double glazed unit in a frame as its lid. Inside is an aluminium tray on an angle, sloped down through a bit of old mesh and collection old biscuit tub. And what goes in it is this manky old comb. It's no good for the bees anymore because old comb can harbour pathogens, diseases, viruses, yicks. And you need to change out your comb at least every 3 years, more often, ideally, so that it doesn't get to the yucky black stage. It's a fairly simple process. Break it off the frames, put it in here, which is an old pillowcase or something, I think, and close it all up. And we all know how hot a car can get in the sun, even on a cool day or a winter's day, but particularly on a summer's day. And that is why you never leave your dogs in a hot car or in a car in the sun. And because this is a double glazed glass panel as well, it gets even hotter in there. As you can see, the unit inside the marine ply box is lined with 100mm PIR board, like Celotex Kingspan. There is a bit of draft seal around the edge, and so when the sun comes out, that wax inside is going to get up to its 65 degree melting temperature within a few hours. And what will happen is any good wax in there will melt, it will run down the slope, it will go through this mesh, which is ideally just to keep big bits out. Not quite so successful there because I got those in when I was setting it up. And you will end up with a whole tub of yellow yellow wax. Here's a lump of wax. That was just the end dregs dripping there like stalactites. After a good sunny day, this is what you'll end up with. You'll end up with a good slab of wax. Often there'll be honey underneath that because there may have been some old honey in the comb that you're melting down in your solar wax melter. Yeah, so there we are. That's pretty clean. Sometimes, depending on how yucky the comb was you've been melting, it'll be grubbier. So that sort of stuff is going to need putting in a cheesecloth and boiling up in the pan, and then pulling up the cheesecloth and letting it drain and dripping clean wax through. No magic to it really, just a great way of rendering down useful wax out of unwanted frame and old comb, unwanted frames of old comb. And that, I mean, pieces like that pretty much ready to make candles with. Love this one, obviously, got a bee on it. But of course you could just make bars of beeswax, which are handy for people who might want a bit of beeswax for cleaning their antique gun collection, who knows. Some people like to make furniture polish with it. Some people even make lip balms, although you do need your beeswax to be certified to a certain hygiene standard, I believe, for that. Although it must be said that one of the nicest things to do with bars of beeswax is simply have one and give it a sniff every now and then, because the smell is absolutely heavenly. All of hives and bees and honey in summer. I do try to have a minimum waste policy when processing honey and wax, because the bees have worked so incredibly hard to produce it Many, many lives have gone into the making of honey, and many lives have gone into the making of the wax. So it only seems right to try and save as much as possible from their labours.